Hey guys, I just wanted to show you how to do some chicken enchiladas. This was one of the requests when I put something on the Facebook page about what you guys wanted to see made. I will get to the lasagna, I promise. It's just Thanksgiving happened and I kind of got tied up with the festivities and making everything for the holiday, and it's been a busy couple weeks. So here's some chicken enchiladas. And I just want to show you that this is really simple and you can make this for your family as well. You can make the normal recipe for the family and then just alter yours. And that's typically what I do, because you need to make yours on the side anyway because your things are measured out. Their things are not. So you can't just throw a bunch of stuff together, put it all in one pan, and then just guess at what you're eating or the amounts that you're eating. Your stuff needs to be weighed. You have to put it on that scale. You have to be sure you are getting what your coach has asked you to get. 100% of what you're getting, and not 50%, not 120%. So the big thing that I struggled with when I first started was not digging into a second serving. That was my problem. Well, I mean, I had a lot of problems, but that was one of the things. I always wanted to go back, even though I wasn't hungry. It was just something in my mind that made me think I need more or I want more. Stupid. I was full. And then I was miserable at the end of supper. So anyway, this type of eating has changed my life, and I hope that it changes yours, and I hope that you really give this a chance. It's such a learning curve when you first start. But I promise that if you stick with it, you will get the hang of it. So, chicken enchiladas, here we go. I have 85 grams of chicken breast on my plan. You can use any kind of meat you want for this. You can do ground chicken, ground turkey, turkey breast, steak, whatever you want. So I'm using chicken breast just so that I don't really have to alter my plan all that much. My plan calls for 85 grams. Well, I want to use some of my protein as Greek yogurt because the recipe calls for like a cream of chicken soup. And I'm not going to do cream of chicken soup. Neither are you. So I'll save some of that. So I'm going to do 70 grams of chicken breast. That leaves me with 15 grams to sub out. I know that some of you do not have the food calculator and it takes a little bit longer and it's a little bit harder to figure out what your subs are. Thankfully, I kind of was grandfathered into the old food calculator. So I plug in my 15 grams of chicken breast and it tells me basically how many calories 15 grams is. And then I know I can use that amount of calories for the Greek yogurt. So all in all, it comes out to be 40 grams of Greek yogurt is what I can use. That's fat-free, and it's that Fea brand. Fat-free yogurt. This one. And that's a massive tub. I eat this stuff like crazy. Anyway, so I put 40 grams of that into a dish. Now this is supposed to be cream of chicken soup. Like I said, we're not going to use that. That's just not something we want to waste our calories on. So I do the Greek yogurt in here, and I'm going to mix it up with some chili powder. And I'm also going to add in, sorry, I was prepared at one point, but, okay, these. This is like a chicken base, a chicken broth. I use these in place of things that call for cream of anything. Cream of mushroom, cream of celery, cream of whatever. So I use just a little bit of this in my Greek yogurt here and in my chili powder. And then I add in a little bit of chicken broth to it. So it's just kind of like a little bit of a soupy, it's kind of thick, soupy texture, okay? And that's kind of hard to see, but you can definitely see the darkness of the chili powder. Yum. My chicken was already heated up. I put it on the stovetop. Have your chicken pre-made. Have all your proteins pre-made. Just make them all on Sunday or whatever day of the week works for you. That way, everything's ready. Having your proteins prepped is huge. So I heat mine in the skillet with a water or with chicken broth. It adds a lot of moisture back into the meat so it's not dry. Like if you microwave it and reheat it, it's just chewy and disgusting. Don't do that if you can prevent from doing that. Anyway, so now I've got my chicken, I've got my soup, and my plan calls for a fat. And my fat that I get is 68 calories. So for this particular meal, I could use my fat as sour cream, or I could use my fat as guacamole or avocado, or I can use it as cheese. For me personally, I'm going to go for the cheese. I love cheese and peanut butter, but I can't work peanut butter into this, which is a shame. But I measured out my cheese into a separate dish. This is what I get for my cheese, for my fat. Now the other thing is the carbohydrate. So my carb is 200 grams of sweet potato. And I'm going to sub that out because I want to put this in a tortilla shell. There's so many different tortilla shells out there, so you've got to be sure you know how many calories are in your carb and then how many calories are in that tortilla shell. So for me, I had, my potato is 172 calories. My shell is 140 calories. Now you could use a low carb shell, which will give you a lot less calories, a lot less carbs, and then you could sub some of those extra carbs in for black beans or some other type of carb that you would want. Anyway, I don't have low carb shells on hand, so I'm just going to do with what I have. So that's 140 calories for my shell, 172 calories are what my sweet potato was, which means I have 32 calories left to play with. Well, I want to use enchilada sauce. That's what's going to go as my calories for my carb. Enchilada sauce is not a protein, and there's no fat in this. I mean, super minimal. So this would count as a carb. If I read the label, it is 4 grams of carbs per serving, no protein, and less than a gram of fat. So this will be a carb. I want to use those 32 calories that I have left over for my sauce. So I look at my sauce and it tells me it's 25 calories per serving, which is 60 grams. So I'm going to take, well, for sure I get 1 full serving because I get 32 calories, which is more than 1 serving of this. So then I take my 32 minus 25, which gives me 7. I'm going to take my 7 calories extra is what I can have, divide it by the 25 because it's 25 calories per serving. So 7 divided by 25 is 28%. I'm going to take that 28 or 0.28 times 60 because it's 60 grams in a serving. So basically, because I can only have 7 calories or 28%, I need to figure out what 28% is of the weight that I can have for my serving. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, it comes out to be 16.8. So, as I said before, I get 1 full serving, which was my 60 grams, plus I get the extra 16.8. So, we get to have 76 or 77 grams of enchilada sauce that we can use. That takes care of my carb. Vegetables for this dish. You might have unlimited vegetables, you might have a cup, you might have whatever. So you might use all your vegetables in this, and you might need to or want to have vegetables on the side. Limitless, right? So for me, my veggies, I've got purple onion. I love purple because it's just sweet. I've got green onion, and I've got hot green chilies. Yeah, hot. My family won't touch it. That means they don't touch my food. I'm safe. See, you got to do these things because you got to make sure people aren't eating your stuff, right? So basically now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cook up my onion in the pan. Now, if you have extra fat that you haven't used, you can use an olive oil or something. But I'm skipping the butter, I'm skipping the oil, and I will just use water or I will use a little bit of broth in my pan with the onion until they are cooked up and soft. Once those babies are soft, I'm going to add in my chicken, I'm going to add in my chilies, and I'll add in half of my green onion. Once I get that heated, I'm just going to let it kind of simmerish together a little bit. And I'm going to add in a little bit of my soup mix to that because we want to save a little bit of soup mix for the bottom of our pan. Here's my dish, my baking dish. I'm just going to line the bottom of my pan with a little bit of the soup mix. Doesn't take much, just a little bit. And that way, then I know I can use the rest of it in my chicken and onion mix when I'm cooking that. And that's what's going to go inside the shell. Once I have it inside the shell, I'll roll my shell up. I'm going to put it in this baking dish. I'm going to top it with cheese, or you can put the cheese on the inside, doesn't matter. And then I'm going to take my enchilada sauce, measure it out, and I'm going to dump that over the top of my enchilada. Pop that sucker in the oven, 350, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, whatever it takes, and it's going to be done. You have an enchilada. I hope that this was helpful. So we've taken care of the protein, the carb, and the fat. It's always helpful to know what a protein is, what a carbohydrate is, and what a fat is, because that helps you in your breakdown of trying to figure out what to have or what to sub for. I forgot, we're also adding, lime juice. When I'm simmering everything in the pan here together, I'm adding in lime juice and some garlic powder. And you can add, you can add whatever seasonings you want. If you like cumin, you can do that. Red pepper flakes would be good. Crushed red pepper, cayenne, that would be really good. Yeah, so give me a shout if you have any questions, and I will get you a photo of the finished product. Talk to you later.